Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Clan Sakai Major League video for our 2026 Sunrise Skirmisher Major 2. And I am back with another banger. We're going to be taking a look at our elimination round. Now, if you've seen the videos before, there's been a couple of forfeits for certain matches, so I do apologize for that. Hopefully, we don't see more coming into Major 3 or going forward. But yeah, welcome everybody back to another banger for our Major League. I am your host, Aries, today, joined by the three fellow people who were supposed to be in this video for today. Unfortunately, I was not able to get them on time, due to their schedule. So it's just me again, and that's how it's gonna be. And hopefully, not for the rest of the other videos, but if it is me, then I don't want to keep everyone else waiting. But anyways, we're gonna be taking a look at our higher division elimination round one, match 3 between two teams that are looking to advance to the next round. It's gonna be between two teams that were gonna be Hango Fangs and Zenith Gaming. So both of these teams are going to be fighting for survival. Two teams that are definitely have almost similar skill level, but Hango Fangs looking to secure their top 3 again after the disappointing loss against DQ Esports in Major 1. But anyways, let me give you guys a little bit of a refresher. I have a second channel that's going to be linked down below in our description. I've been posting all the higher division matches and lower division matches there, so if you guys want to check them out early on for access, like early access to like most of the videos that are going to be posted into this channel soon, I have it all right down there. But the main reason why I've been posting out there is because I started editing on CapCut on PC, so I'm just downloading the videos that I have on my tablet onto my PC, and that's because I have a lot more storage, and CapCut has been acting up on my tablet for quite some time. So yeah, I'm starting to edit it on PC, and this video is actually edited on PC. But anyways, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's talk about the teams that also qualified for our Major 2 tournament. Shoot for the Stars. They were originally We Bear Bear Esports. They didn't get to qualify, unfortunately, alongside Black and Blaze Ballin, and Zam Esports struggled another time and not being able to qualify as well. Team Chaos, a new team, they're trying to get themselves in the book. Did they also qualify as well? But we got to talk about our first #1 seed here. Now, Team Electros Academy. They were a team that started from the elimination bracket and then got eliminated by DQ Esports in our elimination round 1, but were able to qualify for our Major 2, but with the first seed in this time. What a very impressive bounce back coming in from Team Electros Academy. That's definitely going to give them a seed favor and also a point boost going into our tournament. And DQ Esports, a team that made it second place, unfortunately getting the 7th seed. And then the Straw Hats, the 2025 Sakai World Champions, are back with the number 6 seed. Now, take a look at our leaderboard. Straw Hats finally get into the conversation. They were not in the conversation in our first major, but yeah, Shoot for the Stars, they were We Bear Bear Esports. They didn't get to qualify as well. And Those Who Crow, alongside Love Hatred, Hango Fangs, and DQ Esports, still got their top 4 placement in the leaderboards. Those Who Crow are having a good amount of points. DQ Esports also trying to catch up to where they're at. But yeah, Team Electros Academy finally got their name into the conversation, securing and our top 6 in our leaderboards, I believe. If that's what it looks like. Oh, top 7 in our leaderboards. And Titan Force, a team that was not able to qualify. I mean, they didn't even get to show up in this tournament as well. So they are at the 21st seed, and definitely want to put them in that position. NYX Division, a team that also didn't show up, and Chico and Friends also trying to get a little bit into the conversation. Top 12 of our leaderboards. Team Falcons, another team, a lower division world champion, just trying to barely make it up there. But take a look at our bracket. The bracket is going to be updated in the next video, but Team Electros Academy 1-3-1 against Pear. Those Who Crow won against Chico and Friends because they forfeit. Straw Hats won 3-1 against Central Gaming, which was a banger match, and then DQ Esports forfeit against Love Hatred. And then Team Falcons also got a win against DQ Esports because DQ Esports decided to forfeit. Helios FA forfeit as well, and Try Gaming Academy forfeit against Pear. So if you just put the little bit of the math together, you technically already knows what happened overall. which is going to show in the prediction as well. So yeah, as we take a look at our predictions, yep, Pear will be advancing to the next round alongside Chico and Friends as well, which we had voted predicted as well. And then Team Mayoshi versus, I mean not Team Mayoshi, Hango Fangs versus Endgame is the match we're going to be watching today. And DQ Esports unfortunately not being able to play, going down very early with a forfeit against Team Falcons. Now that's definitely the position you don't want to be in as DQ Esports. So Team Falcons are definitely going to enjoy having those points in their leaderboards. But as we take a look at our match, it's going to be Zenith Gaming versus Hango Fangs. Hango Fangs being Team Mayoshi back then, and they are looking to get a redemption arc after what happened in Major 1. But starting in the elimination bracket, it's definitely not where you want to be starting. They're going to go against a hot team called Zenith Gaming alongside Celewa, Speedy, and Ducky. And Cookie is going to be the replacement of Waddles alongside Hango and Shadow. So Cookie will be replacing Waddles. And Waddles is actually currently on pairs if you remember the roster mania changes. But yeah, two teams that, you know, really want to get their names in the board. But, you know, this is definitely a team that you have to be careful for. Now, take a look at our maps. We got Safe Zone, Gold Arm Glutch, Pit Home Punt, Hard Rock Mine, and Hideout. So these are maps that are going to be played out for this elimination round 1. The score will be set as 0-0, and a nice beautiful overlay between both of these teams. Can't wait to see what these teams can do overall. But let's take a look at our global bands. Now we do have our global bands now going to be showing. It's going to be Crow and Colette alongside Kenji and Edgar, and Zenith Game are actually the favorites to win this match against Team Mayoshi. Another thing we're also going to be taking a look at is our draft. Our draft time is going to be our biggest thing coming into our major league. But yeah, it is definitely going to be fun. But as we get started, we're going to get started with our first set between Zenith Gaming and Hango Fangs. Alright, as we now get started with the bands, and the global bands will be appear between Zenith Gaming and Hango Fangs in our first set. Started with our bands is going to be a what is that? Oh yeah, a Melody, Lola, and a Chord alongside a Pierce and a Colt and a Kaze. And the first pick is going to be Otis for Shadow. Now, these bands, right? These bands are actually pretty good for Safe Zone. I think they have a lot of meat into it, a lot of control brawlers, a lot of defend brawlers, and an Otis, which is going to be the first pick for Hango Fangs. I think that's going to be a really good pick. You know, it's going to hold down the middle pretty well, but they did leave the Chuck open. Now, the Chuck is definitely going to be played in this match, and you know, definitely a dangerous pick you got to watch out for. But if you have really good defense, you should be able to take care of the Chuck very easily. That's why they have the Otis for, but I think they're going to counter pick. But Silhouette does have the next pick alongside the Chuck, and they're gonna go with Finks. Now that's a very interesting pick. I don't think Finks is the best pick overall. I mean, these guys are the players, I'm just a caster, but Finks in Safe Zone, I don't think it's really the best pick. I'm not sure what it could really do. Maybe contest against the Otis, but you're gonna need a little bit more DPS, so probably a little bit of a defensive pick overall. But yeah, Cookie's gonna have the next pick overall, and it's going to be Penny. Now I do like the Penny, right? You got the turret that could get some consistent damage, the barrel just to defend the Penny to keep it alive. And you know, that's definitely going to be like a good offense pick overall, but they have to respond back with another aggro pick. You know, I think they really need a little bit more damage in order to make sure this Chuck doesn't get too much value from Hango Fangs. So they're going to go with the Miko. Now I do like the Miko, right? Yeah, you could run into on the safe, get some pretty good damage, get some really fast pops. Now alongside the Penny as well as the turret, I think this is a pretty good defensive comp. I think the Otis could really do a lot against the Fangs, and also the Penny gets some free supers off of the Chuck. But what's it going to be the last pick for Ducky? Now they need to respond with a good last pick, and it looks like they're going to go Carl. Now I think Carl is definitely going to be a little bit of a problem for the Penny. I mean, unless the Penny plays it correct. I mean, the Otis is definitely going to have a pretty good matchup overall for that matchup. But yeah, I think I think Hango Fangs might have comp here. Yeah, I think they do have comp. I mean, the Chuck could do a lot more, but they're going to have to get a successful defense. But anyways, let's get started with our set 1 of our match, and this is going to be a banger. And look, Speedy is going to push up a little bit toward the forward, and now here comes the Miko going down onto the safe. It's going to get us some pretty good damage, but a successful defense from Ducky. And now Otis looking to shut down Speedy. And now this is definitely going to be a good match overall. Now they're going to have to play this a little bit slow, have to play look for the most damage overall, but you know, they really need to start focusing on, you know, getting as much damage as possible. Silhouette is definitely going to get the next pop. Now Miko is going to run down the middle, and Cookie trying to hold down the lane. Doesn't want to get too much value, but look at this. The speed base race coming in from both teams, and look at that damage. Already another pop. And this is looking like a base race comp. Hango just trying to get as much damage as he can, and you know, Silhouette tries to do more, but look at this beautiful damage from Hango Fangs, and now all of them are tied up, but can they close it out with the next game? It's going to be a close one overall. Look at that, 7% to 3%. Can they close this one out? And that is going to be a game coming in from Hango Fangs. What a crazy base race from Hango Fangs. And now Zenith Gaming are going to have to lock in for that match. But now they're going to have to really focus on that Miko. That Miko is definitely giving them a little bit of a problem. You definitely don't want to have that Miko jumping on your save. Now the changes are going to be played. First post is going to go up for Celo and Speedy, trying to get rid of this Miko. And this Miko just dodging everything. Does stay alive, which is definitely going to be really huge. Hango just trying to hold down the middle. And you know, Shadow really needs to focus on not getting killed by Ducky. But look at that beautiful super, right? And you know, that's definitely gonna able to run down the middle, and the Miko's actually getting some pretty good damage down there. Here comes the turret, right? It's gonna get shut down, but Cookie does get another turret, and now the Miko has super, so now he's possibly gonna get a free safe damage, but they need to pop up this safe immediately in order to, like, you know, get the most value out of the Miko. But it does get popped, right? Shadow gonna just, you know, just try to stay alive and try to get as much damage as you can. It's gonna pop down the save, looks for the kill onto Ducky, but Ducky does stay alive. But now the penny turret from Cookie, which is definitely gonna be a problem, right? Now Speedy has to focus on this defense, can't really give the penny too much value. A nice mute from Hango, which is gonna shut down Celewa. And now the Miko is back position, trying to get as much damage, looking to dodge a lot of shots. Let's get a nice beautiful 4K. Speedy tries to go up, but does get shut down by Cookie. Celewa, you know, does get the next pop, and that's gonna be really good. Now 54% to 49. This is definitely going to be a very good game coming in from Zenith Gaming now, as they're starting to get a little bit more control. But here comes the Miko, right? Going to hold down the middle. That's going to get another pop. And now the hypercharge penny is definitely going to be a dangerous. And all brawlers are going to be down from Zenith Gaming. The defense had to be there. And the penny turret with the hypercharge. And look at this damage from Hango Fangs, as they will be taking the first set. An incredible aggressive play, but the defense had to be in favor of Zenith Gaming, but unfortunately it did not go well for them. And look at the stats, you know, Silhouette is definitely going to be the MVP, but that Miko ran down the safe really well, and that was perfect coming in from Hango Fangs. A pretty fast game overall, but yeah, Hango Fangs will be taking the first set off of Zenith Gaming and will be securing that safe zone map, and that is definitely going to be in favor of them. Zenith Gaming going to have to lock in a 2-0 in favor of Hango Fangs. So we now get on with our next match, which is going to be Gold Arm Glutch Knockout. Hopefully this is definitely Zenith Gaming's best map going out their series. I think they should be able to secure this map, but Hango Fangs looking pretty strong overall. They're going to have to play this perfectly. But anyways, let's not waste too much time and yap. Let's get on with our next set, which is going to be set 2 of our Knockout Gold Arm Glutch. Alright, as we now get started with the ban phase, we're going to see what these bans are going to be for this match of Gold Arm Glutch. And taking a look at our bans, it's going to be a Bell, Sprout, and a Ziggy alongside a Nagia, Pierce, and a Jay Young. Interesting bans coming in from both teams. As the first pick is going to be a Jean, which Speedy is going to be picking up. Jean, I think Jean is a pretty good pick overall. You know, you could really work around the pool, but you also need a comp that will able to defend Jean, because the Jean pool is definitely going to be one of the most scariest pools, especially if you put it on a brawler. I mean, a player named Speedy, you know, definitely wants to hit a lot of these Jean pools. And the next pick is definitely going to be a Ruffs. Now, I do like the Ruffs, right? You're able to tank down the Jean pool. Really could give your teams treats and also give them a amount of damage. And also, if you have the other star power, you could give them passive healing. But I'm pretty sure they're going to go with Wall Break or maybe the other star power. We'll see what they go. But I do like the Ruffs picks, right? You got the sandbags and the airstrike, you know, really to create a lot of space. And that's going to go alongside Kit. Now, ooh, now the Kit. You know, you could really get a lot of cheese comps with the Kit, and you know, the Kit is definitely a brawler you gotta watch out for, especially when the Kit has the hypercharge as well alongside Ruffs. Definitely gonna have to get a really good defensive brawler that's able to survive that. You're gonna need a little bit more HP if you're Zenith Gaming, but let's see what their next pick is going to be. It's going to be a Griff. Now I think they're looking to you know, break up the map, right? You know, not really give Kit too much value, and you know, try to focus on, you know, targeting that Kit as well. But they also have to be careful with the roughs, right? Now, what's the next pick that Ducky responds with? Now, I need a pick that's gonna, like, you know, slow down the aggressive play coming in from Hango Fangs, because they do have last pick, and they're gonna go with the Buster. Now, the shield is definitely gonna be good for any brawlers that are gonna like spray down instead of game is calm. Now the Buster could definitely, you know, doesn't get countered by the Kit if you use the other star power with the anti-stun. So I guess that's also a pretty decent pick. But you know, they do have last pick, and the last pick is definitely going to be dangerous, and they're going to respond to the Lumi. Now I do like the Lumi, right? You got the ice, and you definitely could get 2 hits off of any brawler that gets up pretty close. This ice is definitely going to create some space, allowing the Kit to run down the middle. And now this is going to be a pretty interesting comp. I mean, I don't know. I think Zenith Gaming might have comp. I mean, they definitely need to play this correctly, but you know, Hango Fang's a team that is not going to slow down in this match. But set 2 with our knockout of Gold Arm Clutch. Can Zenith Gaming clutch up another set or another round for their leaderboards? I mean, not their leaderboards, for their game. And it looks like the Hango Fangs roughs. Hango is going to actually run the airstrike. I'm surprised he didn't run the sandbags. I mean, I think sandbags would definitely have been a bit better, but I think I do like the airstrike though, right? You know, you're able to create a lot of good space overall. So yeah, I see that vision overall. And look at this Lumi, right? Getting some beautiful tags. Speedy almost got caught lacking. And look at this. Look at this beautiful gadget from Hango, which is gonna hold down the middle very perfectly. Now the Kit, right? You know, Cookie, you know, really decent on the Kit. You know, really just want to play the slow game, right? Doesn't want to reveal where she's at, and you know, tries to look for a opening. But you know, this is definitely going to be more like an end game comp. You know, you really want to focus on getting Hango super, and look at this gadget, right? It's going to slow them down, put them down in the middle. And now Cookie is waiting for an opportunity. Ice is going to go down. Speedy has to be careful though. Does get shut down, and that's going to be dangerous. Silhouette just tries to protect it, but can Cookie shut this one down? Hango tries to go for the point, and that's going to be dangerous. Ducky trying to stay alive, and that's going to be a game going in from Hango Fangs. And now this is going to be a little bit dangerous coming in from both of these teams. Speedy, you know, really has to get this gene pool. They have to close out this game. Now, he does have the gene pool, and he knows that Hango does not have the sandbag, so he could get a free pool onto anyone overall. But Celoa, you know, does have the hypercharge. Now this is going to be huge, right? He's able to activate the hypercharge, really trying to focus on getting some kills, right? It's going to get the treat onto the Zen. Oh, Speedy gets too aggressive! Oh, that is not good for Zenith Gaming. Speedy is going to get aggressive, and that's not going to be good. Now it's going to force this into a 2v3, and you definitely need to keep that gene alive. Unfortunately, Celoa was not able to defend against that, but now this is going to get dangerous. Can Ducky sneak up a kill though? It's going to break the gadget onto the right, and now Cookie is going to sneak up. Ice is going to go down, and look at the hypercharge from Cookie. Just gets by a little bit. Now this is going to be dangerous. Cookie has the hypercharge. Is going to activate, tries to get the kill. Celoa trying to stay alive, but this gets shut down, and that is going to be a game 1 going in from Hango Fangs. Now Zenith Gaming, you know, they really need to focus up. They cannot afford to have Speedy going down. They need to have a 3v2 situation. That's the only chance for them to win. But if they're dying like that, especially in the end game comp, it's not going to be very good. And a beautiful wall break from Ducky, which is going to break down both of those walls to create them a lot of space. And now here's the gadget from Hango. Going to slow down the push from Silhouette. Now Silhouette is trying to get aggressive. Is going to activate the super and tries to catch him off guard, but can't really get too much out of it. But Cookie is now going to get a super, and mainly is just waiting for Hango to get hypercharge, right? Because you know, with the Kit super, you're able to do so much, and you know, you mainly want to target the brawler. That's definitely the problem overall. But you know, Cookie is going to look for a you know, really want to look for an opening overall, and Hango is going to try to get some taps to get some super for the Lumi or the Kit himself, or himself as well. And now Speedy is trying to get some tags. Now here comes the end game situation. Now let's see, what did they do, right? Speedy's alive, and now Celoa has a hypercharge. Speedy has to be careful though. Watch out, the gadget's gonna go down in the middle, but Ducky is gonna fortunately go down. That's gonna be dangerous. Cookie doesn't get a kill, and oh no, that's gonna be bad. Celoa doesn't get the kill, and the Kit is able to shut that down. And that is bad. Ducky unfortunately going down early. Now I don't know, cause Zen of Gaming, you know, they have the comp as well, but you know, like I think they're getting skill diff right now. I mean, the Lumi is definitely giving them a problem. You know, catching these brawlers off guard, and you know, Hango tapping almost like hitting almost every shot is definitely gonna be a problem. And the kid is just sitting back, waiting to catch our brawler off guard to get a free kill. Now, if I was Zenith Gaming, right, I think what you should supposed to do, you know, you really want to try to get a pull. You have to get a pull early. Like, you can't wait for the end game because they're playing it so well. I mean, they have to really try to prioritize, like, you know, getting the kill early overall. But here comes the super. Going to go down right now. Lumi's going to get the super. Now, this is going to get a little dangerous, because now Lumi has a crazy amount of damage, and Speedy, you know, really wants to try to look for an opening. Now this is going to be good right now because Speedy's actually getting the Lumi no. Now this is going to be a perfect position because Ducky has the wall, and now this is going to be a little bit good from Zenith Gaming. Can they close this one out? Hango is going to have to tank up that gadget, and Celewa just trying to stay light, activate the hypercharge, and this is going to be a perfect game from Zenith Gaming. Cookie tries to get some damage, but it's not going to be enough. And now this is exactly what Zenith Gaming are needed. Now they have a hypercharged Speedy with the hypercharge. I mean hypercharged Speedy, you know, aka the Gene. And now this is exactly what they need, right? Now this is what Speedy needs to do. It needs to get the pull off of the Lumi, or the kit has to get a pull early. They need to force this to a 2v3 because they need to get a little bit more control. Now Ducky is gonna hold down the right, and now Speedy looking for a pull. Celewa trying to create some space, wants to find a pull, but they're pushing it back because the Lumi definitely going to be a problem. Speedy tries to get a pull but doesn't really get anything out of it. You know, tries to look for an opening overall, but Hango, you know, is getting close to hypercharge, and this is going to be dangerous. If he gets a little bit more taps, he's might going to get the hypercharge to the kid, and then the kid is going to be crazy amount of damage. But looks like it's definitely going to be a slow game. Now Celewa is going to have a hypercharge. You got two hypercharge in favor of Zenith Game, and Lumi trying to get some damage, and Hango, you know, oh, hypercharge is going to be in favor of Kid. Now can they win this end game? The super is going to go down. Speedy just get a nice pull, and it's only up to Hango and Cookie. Can they stay alive though? Zenith Game and have a perfect defense. Tries to look for something. Hango's going to go in and leave this damage from Cookie. Hold up, goes for another pull, and that's going to be, oh, a team wipe from Cookie. Oh my god, what an incredible aggressive play from Cookie, and that's what I'm talking about. The Cookie on the hypercharge kit is definitely going to be a dangerous brawler, and Cookie is definitely going to earn the MVP for that match, and that's exactly what you need to do. The gene pool has to get rid of the kit, and now that's going to be 2 sets in favor of Hango Fangs. Zenith Gaming, they had the comp, they just needed to play this correctly, and unfortunately they go down another 0-2, and the next map is going to be Pit Home Pump. This could be a 3-0 favor in favor of Hango Fangs, and Zenith Gaming need to lock in. They just came back from the winners bracket, and Hango Fangs are looking to shut this down with a 3-0. Pit Home Pump is definitely going to be the next map, but can Zenith Gaming clutch up this next round to keep their tournament lives on the board for this major? But let's get started with our next set. Alright, as we now get started with the bans for Zenith Gaming and Hango Fangs for our Pit Home Punt Brawl Ball. Look at the bans. It's going to be a Star Nova, Pierce, and a Damien, alongside a Pierce, Damien, and a Chester. So 2 mirror bans, and the only brawlers that are really banned are like Star Nova and Chester. The first pick is going to go with Zenith Gaming, and they're going to go with the Lumi. Now I do like the Lumi, right? Has a lot of control through the mid, can really do a lot with the ice as well, and that's definitely going to be a pretty good pick from Zenith Gaming. Now they need to get a perfect draft in this match because now they're down 0-2, so they need to try to play as the best Brawl Stars they can ever do, and they're going to respond to the Otis. Now Shadow on the Otis, definitely going to be a dangerous brawler. Probably going to give it to Hango because he did play it in the first set, I believe, if I remembered. But yeah, let's see, what can Cookie respond with the next pick, right? They do have the Otis, right? Has a pretty good matchup against the Lumi, you know, it does have a little bit of a range favor. But what will be the next pick? Now the next pick, ooh, a Meepo. Now I do like the Meepo, right? Has a stun, also has the box as well. You know, depending on which gadget you want, definitely going to give them a lot of control. The stun is definitely going to stop a little bit of the aggro play, and also the Pierce shot as well, you know, because the shot from Meepo, you know, it's a little bit of a Homan, so it's definitely going to probably guarantee a hit if you have the angle and the aim correctly, but they're going to respond back with a roughs. Now, I do like the roughs, right? You do have the sandbags and the airstrike, but I think they're going to run the sandbags just to tank out a lot of shots for the Meepo and the Otis super as well, so definitely going to be a really good pick. But what do they respond to for the next pick, right? Ducky is going to respond to Ash! Now, I do love the Ash, right? Ash is really, really good into Meepo. Meepo can't really do too much against the Ash, but if the Meepo gets some pretty good taps onto the Ash, it's definitely going to farm up a little bit of super. But if Ducky has that hypercharge, definitely going to be a very dangerous pick. Now, Hango needs to respond back with a nice Pierce Brawler in order to make something happen, but they're gonna go with the Mortis. Now, I'm not sure about the Mortis overall. I mean, it's definitely a good aggro Brawler. You definitely could make some playmakers, especially into Speedy and Celewa, but definitely when you have a high damage Brawlers like Ruffs and Ash, definitely gonna be a little bit of a dangerous pick. But let's see if they're able to make this happen. And our set number 3 between Hango Fangs and Zenith Gaming. Now let's see what they're able to do. Cookie is gonna be on the Mortis. Now we see what she could do. She is the playmaker for Hango Fangs. Tries to go aggressive, but is gonna get shut down. Now Zenith Gaming really want to focus on, you know, trying to get as much damage as possible. Celewa is gonna run down the middle. People tries to look to get in the super. Cookie knows that Celewa is right there. Gadget is gonna be popped down from the box, so he's gonna trap Celewa to not really give too much value overall. Speedy looks for an opening, tries to get some super off of Cookie, and they do have to play carefully. Now here comes the gadget, I mean not the gadget, but the super from Shadow, and that's gonna really confirm the kill onto the Looney. Tries to go for a play though overall, but Zenith Gaming, you know, have a little bit more control to work with overall. And now they need to play this a little bit safe, and Celewa is going to place down the super, which is going to allow them to get a little bit more control. But the Meepo now going to place down a pretty good hypercharge super, which is going to try to get the kill onto Ducky. Ducky tries to get some damage, but they had to play this carefully. Now Speedy, you know, looking for some opportunities down the middle, needs to figure out what they need to do, and Celewa just needs to get a little bit more control. It's gonna place down the rats to the middle, but that's not gonna do anything. Then I mean, it does get his rage, and Cookie wants to get aggressive. Another super is gonna go down to Meepo, and now oh wait, hold up, Speedy has a really good opening though. Hango has to be very careful. This could be a pass, and a beautiful pass from Zenith Gaming, and that's definitely going to put them in the lead for with a 0:48 seconds left in this match. Now what can they do in this next round? Can they slow down the competition, or can they focus on what they need to do? Speedy trying to hold down the middle, doesn't want to give a little bit of value for Cookie. Cookie wants to try to get aggressive, tries to get something, and a beautiful super. Oh, this is going to be a little bit dangerous. Speedy's trying to get something, but Hango's looking to close out this round, and they respond back with another goal. Now this is going to be a little dangerous overall. Definitely don't want to give them the opportunity they need, and they have to play this a bit carefully. Now Hango Fangs looking to bring this to a match, overtime, but you definitely don't want to have an overtime when you have two teams that are looking to survive through everything. Celewa trying to get aggressive, tries to find something, but hold up, this is going to be a really good kill. Hypercharge is going to go down. Celewa's actually going to get some pretty good super, but can Hango close this one out. Cookie has a super, but it's never going to get anything, and that's going to be a walk-in from Celewa, as we'll be saving Zenith Gaming, as they will be taking this round. A beautiful game coming in from Zenith Gaming. Definitely going to put them in the board now, and now this is exactly what they need. Now the game is going to be played in favor of both sides. Celewa lagging a little bit. What is going on from Zenith Gaming? It looks like they're having some lag issues. Should be back in this match by no time. Ducky's just playing a little bit slow. Is there a lag issue going on the server? Everyone seems to be a little AFK. No one's really moving. Celewa losing a little bit more connection, but I think they should be back. Probably had a server issue overall, but yeah, they're back and running. Everyone's moving. Looks like there was just a little bit of a server issue, but everyone's back. No, it's still neutral overall. Celewa does get a nice kill, and the super is gonna go down to the middle. Can Shadow really close out that many gadgets? But here comes the super, right? Can Celewa get that kill onto the Meepo. Meepo does stay alive, and now Shadow is gonna hold down that left lane with only a little bit amount of HP. Cookie does have the mortar super. He definitely could be dangerous with it. Should go with the super first. That was beautiful damage, and look at that super from Cookie. Can he get the kill onto Selowa? Selowa does shut that down though, and that's going to be a really good kill. Gadget is going to go down, and now Selowa has to play carefully, right? Can he survive against the Meepo? It looks like the Meepo is going to ignore. Actually get some pretty beautiful 2 tags, right? That's going to keep Selowa from pushing back. Cookie trying to get aggressive, right? Tries to go for a play. Doesn't really get too much out of it. The Meepo hypercharge is going to go down the middle now. This is going to be dangerous. Speedy just needs to stay alive. And a beautiful defense from Ducky. But hold up. Selowa's going to actually be able to walk this one in. And this is going to be dangerous. But hold up. Cookie has to hypercharge, though. This could be dangerous, though, in favor of Zenith Gaming. Cookie has to hypercharge. Can make a crazy play happen. That Cookie looking to get something with the hypercharge. Is going to use it. Oh, tries to get the damage, but doesn't really get too much out of it. Does get shut down though. Speedy, the only one able to defend this, has to get a successful defense. And hold up, it's going to slow down things. That Cookie tries to make the play. The beautiful defense from Ducky. And that's going to be huge. That could have been a really good goal for Hango Fangs. But Zenith Gaming, look at the corner of the ball. Don't really want to give Zenith Hango Fangs anything. Ducky just trying to stay alive. Needs to die early so he can come back on the respawn. Now Selowa just holding down the middle, right? Doesn't want to give Cookie any values. Cookie's trying to get aggressive. Tries to go for the super play. Tries to get something out of it, but it's not going to get too much. Every ball is low, but a perfect defense from Zenith Gaming. And they will be taking game number 2. And this is exactly what they needed for this round. A beautiful game coming in from Zenith Gaming, and they finally get a set on the board, and this is exactly what they needed for this match. A beautiful game coming in from Speedy with a perfect defense alongside Ducky. Selowa really making some crazy plays overall, but now they come back and now they're able to get a set. Now if they're able to get this next set, they can have a potential reverse sweep, but Hango Fangs still have one more set to close this one out. And now Zenith Gaming are finally going to have their logo down through the middle, as they will be stopping the 3-0 from Hango Fangs, taking a game 2-0. Now they're coming back with a crazy response, but can Hango Fangs clutch up on the Hard Rock Mine of Gem Grab? They can still close this tournament out. Zenith Gaming have to play perfectly and have the draft on point. As we now get started with our set number 4 of Hard Rock Mine Gem Grab. Alright, as we now get started with our bans between both of these teams. Let's see if they can make something happen for this next match. And the bans are going to be very important. Now we're going to be seeing a Star Nova, Damien, and a Chester, and Otis, Damien, and a Shade in favor of Hango Fangs. Now we do have 2 mirror bans, which is going to be the Damien, definitely a dangerous brawler you don't want to be leaving open. Speedy is going to go with the Pierce. Now I do like the Pierce middle, right? If you get some really good taps and you also get the ammo that he left down on the ground, definitely could be a dangerous brawler. Now Zenith Gaming are going to be securing that pick for the mid. Now what's going to be the response from Hango Fangs, as they have second and third. Now they're going to respond with a Lumi. Okay, now Lumi does have a pretty good matchup into the middle, but has to struggle against the Speedy, because if Speedy's on that the Pierce definitely could hit some crazy taps, which is not going to give Lumi that much value. But Lumi is able to stop a little bit of some aggressive brawlers in favor of Zenith Gaming, so that's going to be a little bit good for them. And it looks like Zenith Gaming are going to respond with a buzz. Now hold up a second, I just realized something. Cookie is supposed to have the next pick. Wait, I think there's a little bit of a UI bug. Okay, Cookie responds with the Lily, right? And then what happens that, wait, hold up. Yeah, wait, hold on. There is a little bit of a lag issue. Okay, well, we'll figure that out a little bit later. But yeah, there's something wrong with the UI, or I think there's something wrong I did on the editing part. But yeah, it should be fine. Okay, so so it looks like they did have last pick, I believe. I might have just edited it a little bit wrong, but yeah. Yeah, so I guess a Lily, then you got a Buzz and Gale, and then the last pick is gonna be Ali the Alligator. So what was it? First pick Pierce, right? And then Shadow goes with the oh, so yeah, I might have did the editing wrong, guys. So Cookie was supposed to go with the Lily, right? And then Silhouette was supposed to come out there. So I kind of like did a little bit of mistake there, but don't worry, I'll be able to fix that in the next one. And we'll see how the next round goes on. But here we go. We'll first set number 4. And let's see if they're able to close out this round with a banger match between both of these teams looking to survive. Now Ducky is going to be on the piers. Could take some crazy damage. Lily's going to run down the middle right now. Has to be careful because Hango is there. And definitely don't want to find a beautiful damage though. Here comes Cookie, right? Ooh, what a nice gadget from Ducky, right? That's going to stop Cookie from getting aggressive. And here comes the alligator. Trying to get dangerous. Tries to catch Cello off guard. That's going to get a huge kill at the Ducky. Speedy gonna get shut down by the alligator or Hango Fangs. We're playing this pretty good though. Gonna have to play this very carefully though. Silhouette just trying to stay alive, and a beautiful super from Cookie. Now they really have a problem because the alligator is doing some crazy amount of damage, and Ducky really trying to find out where the alligator is. Speedy, really want to try to get his hypercharge, because if he could sneak up a kill onto the Lumi, it's definitely gonna be a dangerous like kill. And looks like Speedy's gonna run down through the middle, right? Wants to try to build up a hypercharge, and now Hango has 9 gems. It's gonna be dangerous, but hold up, Speedy has a hypercharge. This could be dangerous though. Cookie trying to stop the interception, tries to get some damage, but this is a good defense coming from Hango, and that's not gonna be good. Had a Hango stays alive, and sorry about the cough there, but does stay alive. But here comes Speedy, right? He wants to find Hango. Tries to get the kill though, and Hango's just trying to stay alive, and Ducky tries to get the hypercharge, and a beautiful defense, and now they're gonna run away with all the gems, but can Cookie stop this push from going, and Silhouette just trying to stay alive, but ooh, what a nice kill from the Lumi. I mean the alligator. Silhouette does run away with 7 gems though. Wants to get aggressive. Oh my god, a beautiful play from the alligator. And Speedy just trying to stay alive. Is gonna go down in the realm. Has to be careful. Tries to go for the play, and a beautiful kill from Zenith Gaming. Hango Fangs, and now they're gonna have to play for their survival. Now it wants to find some damage. All the gems are gonna be in favor of the alligator, and Zenith Gaming will be losing that round, and Hango Fangs on match point. This is definitely gonna be a dangerous match from Zenith Gaming. They need to get this next round in order to keep their tournament lives on board, but they have to play this correctly. They need to survive in this major in order to make top 8. But Cookie, really trying to get a little bit of the buzz super, and Shadow tries to get a little aggressive, but Speedy's gonna run down the middle. Is gonna get caught by Lumi, and now Cookie, really wants to try to get as much value on the buzz, right? Now the alligator is definitely a dangerous pick you gotta watch out for, because now Cookie, ooh, a beautiful shutdown though, and Speedy does have a hypercharge. Now this is gonna be dangerous, right? Because if Speedy has the hypercharge, right, he could super down the middle and get an easy hypercharge off of Hango. Now he probably wants to wait for Hango to get a little bit more gems so he could sneak up a pretty good kill. And he's actually gonna go aggressive with it. Does get a beautiful super. Cookie is gonna have gems, and that's gonna be bad. You definitely don't want to have the buzz on the gems, because the buzz is supposed to be the one that gets aggro. The alligator is gonna get shut down by Silhouette. Silhouette's gonna be able to hold down the middle really well, and Speedy's gonna get aggressive, tries to take the gems, but can Speedy run away with it? Does get the perfect gadget though, but can Hango catch up this kill? And here comes the alligator, goes for a damage play, and Silhouette's gonna be able to run away with the 10th gem. And he does have a gadget to stop the buzz from pushing up. Now Speedy has to get aggressive, right? Needs to slow down the aggro push. It's going to shut down Hango, and that's going to be bad. Cookie this response back with 1. And Silhouette trying to stay alive, has to make the play. Cookie shuts that down, and a beautiful game coming in from Zenith Gaming, as they will be stopping the 3-1, but they still need to win this next game. They're able to tie this one up. It's 1-1 in this match. Now the final game. Can they close this one out? And this is going to be dangerous from Zenith Gaming. They need to get this aggro play going. Now Ducky is going to get a tap onto the middle, right? Tries to get as much taps as he can. Now they have to be careful because the sneaky looking the alligator going to look for a kill onto Ducky. Ducky's going to pop down the gadget. A beautiful kill from the alley. Now Cookie's going to respond onto Cello. Speedy's able to secure a little bit more gems, but does have a hypercharge, right? Could definitely be a bit of a problem. Now Speedy is going to get shut down by the alligator. Now 6 gems are going to be in favor of that alley. You definitely don't want to give the ally the gems, so they're gonna have to figure out how they're gonna transfer the gems onto Hango. Definitely don't want to have the ally the alligator with the gems, because that ally does need to get aggro. It looks like he's gonna try to get aggressive. Hypercharge is gonna be used some speed. It's gonna slow things down, and now this is definitely gonna be a little bit of a dangerous kill overall. But Speedy does stay alive though, and Silhouette looking for an opening. Now Ducky is gonna hold down the middle, has to play this very carefully. Ally the alligator tries to get aggressive, and a beautiful super right that's gonna give Cookie to go down. But hold up, a beautiful super from Silhouette. All the gems are gonna be going down, and oh, a blunder coming in from Zenith Gaming. Hango Fangs, and Zenith Gaming now have to control. Now Ducky's gonna use the super to slop down the push. Now here comes Cookie, misses the super, doesn't get the attachment, but Hango has the super, right? Can he make the play? The gadget's gonna go down. Everyone just trying to stay alive. The Zenith Gaming just trying to stay alive, and the intercept is gonna be in favor. Oh no, Ducky's the only one alive. Oh, a defense! A beautiful defense from Ducky. He's spinning, he knows. He saved the game. And this is going to be dangerous. Hango Fangs have a little bit more time, but he needs to run down the middle. But it looks like the ally knows that the game is over. No signs of defense here, and Silhouette has the hypercharge. There's no chance. It's impossible for Hango Fangs to get the 3-1. But Zenith Gaming now take set number 4, and now we're bringing this to a set number 5. An incredible game coming in from both rounds, and now this is going to be a dangerous tournament. Zenith Gaming able to tie this up 2-2. Hango Fangs need to clutch up this next game in order to secure their top 3 in the leaderboards. This could be a potential reverse sweep in favor of Zenith Gaming. And they are wanting to have this badly. Look at that 2-1, and Hango Fangs could have closed it out on that Hard Rock Mine. But now we're going on with our next map, which is going to be Bounty Hideout. The final set to decide the tournament lies for both of these teams between Zenith Gaming and Hango Fangs. Only one team will be able to advance to the next round to face off against Team Falcons. And this is going to be a dangerous match. Both of these teams want it so much. But let's get started with our next set. Alright, here we go with the final set, with the final bands. This could be the game that decides it all. We'll see what the bands are going to be. It's going to be a a Damien, Star Nova, Kaze, alongside a Jean, Pierce, and a Najia. Now, first pick is going to be Speedy. Speedy's going to run with the first pick, Mortis. Now, definitely could be a dangerous brawler. Definitely want to be not giving them the Mortis pick. Definitely could make some crazy playmakers, but that also leads to Hango Fangs, really getting the playmaker brawlers, right? Because look, they're gonna respond to the bell. Now I do like the bell, right? It has the traps, right? Could slow down the Mortis from pushing up. It also has the bell mark. The bell mark could do incredible amount of damage. And now let's see what Cookie's gonna respond with the next pick, right? They need to respond with a defensive pick in order to stop Speedy on the Mortis. Now they could respond with some pretty good amount of brawlers. It looks like they're gonna go with the Leon. I do like the Leon, right? Because the Leon does get some pretty good damage. Also has a super if anything would go wrong. Can run the speed star power or the heal star power and get some really sneaky kills. So yeah, I am gonna like that pick from Cookie. Now they do have a last pick, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna go for a crazy last pick. But Silhouette is gonna run with the kit. So looks like they're gonna go to Mortis kit comp. Now they could get away with this, but they need to have Ducky on a brawler where it's able to really back up any go wrongs coming in from the Mortis and the kit. And now they can respond back with a really good brawler. Now I think they might go like a healer brawler just to keep the Mortis alive, but it looks like they're gonna go with the Charlie. Now I do like the Charlie, right? The Charlie could really cocoon the Leon. It could really be a little bit of a problem for Charlie. The Bell as well with the spiders, but definitely could really stop a lot of the aggressive play coming in from Hango Fangs. The last pick is going to be a Griff. Now I do like the Griff, right? It could defend the Mortis and shut down the Mortis really well. But if you got a Mortis that has some pretty good movement alongside the kit, could really get some pretty good damage overall. But they have to play this perfect. Both of these comms are looking pretty good, but I do like Hango Fang's comm. They have a really good defensive comm, but Zenith Gaming definitely can make this a winnable match. But the final set to decide everything for this match, can they close out this tournament with a victory? Zenith Gaming going to be taking the blue star lead. Cookie going to run down to the right. Tries to get some little value off of Speedy, and Shallow is going to know that Silhouette is down there in the middle. Ducky is going to run down the middle. This is going to be exactly what I'm talking about, right? Does get the kill, but does get bell mark now. Now Mortis can't really push up too much. Tries to go for a play, and look, Cookie, right? Cookie's going to get aggressive, and that's what I'm talking about, the bell mark, right? Even if the Mortis does get bell mark, even if they secure a kill, their other brothers are able to shut down that Mortis extremely well, because, like, you know, the bell mark is definitely going to give them the extra damage, but now they're still in the favor of 3-war league. Now, Hangofangs just needs to play slow, right? Focus on the target. Celobo's going to run down the middle. Cookie's going to try to get some beautiful damage. Doesn't get anything out of it. Celobo just gets shut down. No, just tries to stay alive. Fortunately, is going to get killed. Now, Hangofangs are going to be in lead with the blue star lead, and Hango's getting some really good taps onto Speedy. You know, not really giving him any value, and Cookie has to hypercharge. Now, it's going to be dangerous, right? Because look at this. The Griff has the super, right? And, you know, could do, like, a crazy amount of damage. But, oh, wait, hold on. That's actually a really huge kill from Celoa. Wow, what a beautiful kill. Celoa, you know, holding down the middle. Now, has to be careful. Now, here comes the hypercharge from Cookie, right? Cookie gets some pretty good damage. Needs to find the kill onto Ducky. Is going to try to get aggressive. Ducky tries to slow down everything, but another super is going to be in Psycho. Celoa tanked up a little bit too much damage, and a beautiful kill from Cookie, and that's going to keep them alive. And he does stay alive, though. And now that is not going to be good in favor of Zenith Gaming with only 16 seconds on the clock. Celoa tries to get aggressive, wants to find a kill onto Hango, but it's only going to be a 9-star lead. That's not going to give them enough to push this one up. Can they get the perfect defense from Zenith Gaming? They need to get the kill. Cookie's just trying to stay alive. Speedy is going to go down, and it's not going to be enough, as Hango Fangs will be taking that first round, and they are on match point. They could close out this entire tournament and shut down Zenith Gaming. This is definitely going to be a dangerous game coming in from Zenith Gaming. They need to focus up. Celoa is going to get the blue star, but can't get marked by the bell, because the bell is going to do so much damage if he gets a really good mark. It looks like Ducky is going to stay a little bit to the right, you know, not really give them too much value overall. Celoa is going to wait for the Ducky to go in, and here comes Hango. Now, you definitely don't want to be running into the Hango, because, like, sure, he gets a couple of attacks, and he's like an easy brawler to go to, but if you get hit by that bell mark, you can't really do too much. Now, Celoa is just going to play the waiting game and really want to try to look for the opening. Probably just going to wait for Ducky to get super, and Speedy trying to contest against the Griff. The Griff is trying to stay alive, and oh no, Speedy is going to go down. It's going to be a 3-star lead. Now, this is dangerous, because Hango's getting some pretty good taps, and Celoa, you know, breaking up them, trying to find some value, but then they get too much, and a beautiful kill from Leon. Oh, a good cocoon though from Speedy, right? That should secure a kill. A beautiful bell hypercharge mark onto this on Celoa, but now Hangofangs have a little bit of a lead, and they do have a Griff super. Now this is going to be dangerous, right? The Griff is breaking up the map, not really giving Celoa any value to work with. Cookie's going to get some pretty good damage. This gets shut down now. 8-star leave is going to be in favor of Zenith Gaming, but now they need to close this one out. Now here comes the Griff, right? The Griff could be dangerous, right? It's going to place down the gadget to slow down Speedy from pushing up aggro. Does have a super to make with. That's going to be a good super. A good cocoon though. Hango looking for a kill. Ducky wants to find that kill onto the Griff. Tries to look for something. It's going to make for the jump. No, the missed jump though. Cookie going to get some good damage. Hold on, Celeb's going to go down. That's going to be dangerous. Oh, it might be a team wipe. Oh no! Oh my god. The team wipe from Hango Fangs, and there's no way for Zenith Gaming to clutch this one up. Hypercharge is going to go down. It's going to be some crazy amount of damage. Trying to get aggressive. Killua tries to find something. Celoa wants to get something out of it, but it's not going to be enough. As a beautiful defense from Hango Fangs, shutting down Zenith Gaming, and the reverse sweep will be denied, as Hango Fangs will be advancing to the elimination round 2. What an incredible game coming in from Hango Fangs. They shut down Zenith Gaming that came from the winners bracket, and they will be advancing on to the next round with a 3-2 victory. A crazy set 5 match between both of these teams that really try to fight for the survival. Unbelievable game, but Hango Fangs will be advancing to the next round, and we're also going to be having an interview with Hango himself, talking about what the matches were and how he did and what he could have done to make this a better match. But yeah, crazy match overall. As we now get started with the interview, Hango. Yo, what's up, Hango? How you doing, man?
Yo, what's good? I'm
Yo,
doing
so
great.
so glad to have you in our interviews for today. An incredible win against Zenith Gaming. And my first question for you is, being the number third team in the leaderboards, unfortunately having a rough qualifiers in Major 2, how are you able to bounce back from that? And what even happened in qualifiers in order for you to get the 11th seed?
So like, the main issue in the qualifiers was that, we didn't have Shadow, right? So we were down a teammate and we had to sub in someone else who was on 150 ping. And yeah, we just didn't have confidence, and we were struggling really badly. But after Shadow came back, it bounced back up. So yeah, we ended up beating Zenith Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good win overall, but following up with my second question, Zenith Gaming, they in the qualifiers for Major 2, they were the number third seed, and they actually lost against Straw Hats, which were the number 6 seed, sending them down to elimination bracket, and you guys taking them out with a 3-2 victory. How does it feel taking down the number 3 seed?
Feels pretty great. It's a good start after having a terrible start in the qualifiers. But yeah,
I mean, I can't wait to see what more you guys could do in general. And that also leads up to my next question. Do you think this is going to be a confident boost? Are you guys going to make it far in this major?
I think we'll make it pretty far, like top 4.
Yeah, hopefully. I can't wait to see more from you, Hango. I mean, that's a very important win for you guys, and you're going to face off against Team Falcons in the next round. But that's going to wrap up our interview for today, and I'll see you guys later, and I'll be seeing you later also, Hango.
All right, I'll see you later too.
And that's going to wrap up our entire video for today. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next match between Team Electric Academy and Those Who Crow.